Okay. Can you all see the slide now?
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. So does the slide move?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay, good. So just now I was showing you some, I think some of you didn't see. Okay, never mind. I'll just quickly go through again. So why do bad things happen to good people? So I was talking about, yeah, record. So why two children are born at the same time, on the same day? One is born happy, one is born deformed. So why do these kind of things happen, right? Life isn't fair, is it? So we have situations where some people are born rich, some people are born not so lucky in poverty, right? And we have some people who are born very beautiful, charming, famous, and some who are cursed with deformities and reviled. Some are blessed with health, whilst others are afflicted with disease or ill health, lifelong, right? Some enjoy peace with their families. Some are torn apart by war. Some have it easy in life. Some are burdened with great hardships. So like this, the world is full of disparities, blatant inequalities. So why this is happening? So people ask questions, why? Is God partial? Is he not fair to some? So if you look at some of the religions in the world, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, they say that there's the law of something like law of karma. They will say that this is it's like a punishment. So in Quran, there's this law called kifara. It says that God punishes us for our mistakes and he's testing us. But we can say for adults, yes, I've done something bad, so therefore I'm receiving a punishment. But what about children who are born with diseases, or children who are born with deformities, and children who die young? What is their life? Why are they being punished? What did they ever do? Because these religions, uh, they don't understand life after life. So they are not able to understand fully about God's test. So because people don't understand these things, they question, why do children suffer or die? They are innocent. Why do you test them? Test the adults. So these religions will tell you, be faithful, right? Don't lose faith. Eventually, all will be revealed. That is when you go back to heaven. But to live in this world, sometimes a little bit of knowledge is needed in order for us to understand how to live. So therefore, some people, they have faith. You can see here, some people have faith. Some people lose faith. And then they ask, why is God so cruel? Why is God so unkind? Why is it allowing this to happen? Either God can do nothing, that means he's not powerful, right? Or he doesn't care, which means he's not all merciful, or he doesn't exist, right? So people think this way. This is an example of false logic. So it means that you are not having enough, it's either yes or no. It's either black or white. They don't understand concepts in between. And after all, God promises in the scriptures, my mercy embraces all things, according to the Quran. And even in other places, the Lord is gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. So these are some of the promises God gives. So how to reconcile? Even in Bhagavad Gita, I am equal to all, he claims. The Lord makes this promise to everyone. So where is the equality? How do we understand this equality? So people still ask questions. Why is this discrimination? Why some people are born better off, some people are not? So therefore, people become atheists. March 23rd is recognized as Atheist Day. So it's a lack of belief. Always understand, people always want to believe, but it's because it doesn't make sense to their logic. So they are Can the others mute their microphones, please? Okay, thank you. So if you look at the world's religion, we stopped here actually just now. So we find that these are the major religions of the world, and we find that majority of them cannot really explain to us why we need to have faith. It only says this is God's test, God's punishment, and please have faith. But beyond that, it doesn't explain further. And it's only in Buddhism and Hinduism that we find a little bit more explanation. So Buddhism, as you know, comes from Hinduism. So how do we explain this is by giving you a simple example. This is a what is this? Can someone say what is this?
Hey, don't. Because,
Can someone say what is this? This is a court of law. A lawyer's a judge, right? You can see a judge is sitting there.
Yeah.
You can see a judge is sitting there, and you can see lawyer, right? And probably there is someone who is being charged. You can't see the person being charged, but never mind. So in a court of law, what happens is someone is brought to the court of law, and a trial goes on. So, and then at the end of the trial, the judge decides that one person is guilty, another person is innocent, correct? And for the guilty person, he will punish them, he will sentence the guilty person with imprisonment, correct? So some people are imprisoned, whereas others are rewarded. So the guilty person is put behind bars, or sometimes, they are killed. Whereas the innocent person, he will receive damages, what they call in law. Damages means they get money because somebody has done something bad for them. Okay, let's say you go out now and you go and punch someone on the road, and then if they take you to the court, you have to pay the person you punched some amount of money, because he has to pay for his medical bills. You have wasted his time, and then his teeth fell out, so you have to pay for all of that. So then one would say, why is one person given money and another person is put behind bars? Anna. So to a person who's watching from outside, he may think that, oh, this is not fair. Why is one person given money, one person given? So we understand because he has broken the law. So the person who has broken the law is punished. The person who followed the law, or the person who tolerated, who had patience, who despite difficulties had faith, so that person is rewarded, correct? So then we are talking about law. What law are we talking about? So this is the law of in Malaysia. This is the law of Malaysia lah. But we are talking about things like ill health, some who are doing well in life, some who are not doing well in life. So what kind of law is governing these things? So is the judge partial? So just because we have a law on earth, so like that there is a universal law as well. So then we come to this word called karma. So therefore this is called the law of karma. Now what is this law of karma? So we can see here, what has this fella done? He has actually caused the slab here to collapse, and the slabs are arranged in such a way that as it collapses, what will happen eventually? Anyone can say what will happen eventually? The last slab will fall on him, yes. So what goes around comes around. Heard of that statement, right? So again, we go back to this, the law of kifarah, or Galatians. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. That means if you throw a mango seed, you can hope to get what? Eventually, a durian tree? No, you will get a mango tree. If you throw a poison ivy seed, you will get a poison ivy plant coming out, right? If you throw lalang seeds, then you will get lalang. So like that, then we can understand, you know, you go out and you slap a person, or you punch a person outside your house, and then what will happen? Then this law of kifara will take place, or this you will get punished and then you will get rewarded. Like that it will happen. But how to understand about children though? That's why when you go to the Christians, or when you go to the Buddhists, or when you go to the Muslims, you ask them, why is a child born with AIDS? They cannot answer that question, because the law of kifara, or the Galatians 6.7 here, only refers to this life. They cannot understand that we are not only in this life, that our soul is actually taking many, many births, right? So therefore, if we include this understanding of the law of karma, the law of karma goes beyond the kifara law, or goes beyond Galatians 6.7. It actually looks at life from time immemorial. It looks at the perspective of the soul. That means that our life is not only in this life. It's not just now that we are born. We have taken birth many, many lives before, right? So look at this verse. Sariram yat avapnoti yat chapi utra kamatishvaraha. This is from Bhagavad Gita, right? What it says, 15.8. The living entity in the material world carries his different conceptions of life from one body to another. So that means from one life to another life, we are actually bringing our conceptions of life. What is these conceptions of life? These are our likes, what we like, what we dislike. You know, if somebody asks you, what's your favorite color? I like red. Why? Or if somebody, you know, as they grow up, some people, they like a certain type of food. Some people, they like a certain type of, they get a certain inclinations. You know, like sometimes, why are people born gay? Why are people born in a lesbian or LGBT society? You know, why are people born in this kind of? Why do you have this kind of inclinations? So it's because of your past life. So due to the past life, this kind of impressions are brought forward, brought forward, brought forward. So this is known as the law of karma. So it's a very, very complicated law actually. It's not that easy to understand, but it can be also explained in a very simple way. In fact, to the Christians, you know, the Lord says, have faith, don't worry. Not a lot of things are given to them. So they say, I have yet many things to say, but you cannot bear them now. So, you know, the Bible is just one book. Too many information cannot be in the Bible. So in the Bible, it's given some basic information and also the most important information about faith in God, about devotion. These are also given in the Bible a little bit. So, and then Jesus also says, right, I fed you with milk, not solid food, for you were not ready for it. And even now, you are not yet ready. So this is what is mentioned in the Old Testament. This is Old Testament. In the Jews accept this, the Muslims accept this, the Christians also accept this. So from here we can understand that their scriptures are not complete. It's enough for us to develop some love of God, but it's not enough for us to fully understand the entire purpose of why these things happen. So if you take the Galatians law 6.7 and the law of kifara from the Quran, and you include inside it the law of reincarnation, because what's missing in Christianity, in the Abrahamic religion, is the law of reincarnation. They don't understand the reincarnation of the body. The soul keeps passing from one life to another. So if you include this, then you get the law of karma. So therefore, then it will make sense. Then you get complete sense about why certain people are born this way, why certain people are born that way. Because we are not looking at punishment and reward only within one lifetime. We are looking at punishment and reward from a viewpoint of many lifetimes. Then it makes sense, right? So just like, for example, yeah, never mind, we'll go to the examples later. So this kind of information is only found within the Vedic scriptures. And you can see here, Buddhism actually took a lot of philosophy from Vedic scriptures. So this kind of things you will only find in the Vedas, in examples of the Vedic scriptures. So this is the wisdom of the Bhagavad Gita. So in the Bhagavad Gita, you know, what does the Bhagavad Gita talk about? If you remember, it basically speaks about 5 topics, right? Anyone knows what are the 5 topics spoken in the Bhagavad Gita? Anyone knows what are the 5 topics? I given you, these pictures give you some clue. 3 of those topics are mentioned in these pictures. You know, Bhagavad Gita speaks about Ishvara, God. He speaks about Jiva, the soul, right? It speaks about Prakriti, which is creation, energy, right? So this image here shows creation or energy. And it also speaks about Kala, time. So there's Ishvara. Okay, let's not talk about Ishvara first. What happens when the Jiva, the soul, the Jiva, when the Jiva is put inside Prakriti? Because Prakriti is creation, right? Energy. So in energy, there are 2 energies. There is the superior energy and there's the inferior energy. So in the inferior energy is Prakriti, which is matter, which is the universe. So when the soul enters into the universe, under the purview of time, what happens? When the soul enters into the universe, he gets a material body, and with the effect of time, then what comes out is karma, which is the 6th topic of the Bhagavad Gita. Karma means action. So the jiva with Prakriti, under the purview of Kala or time, you get karma. So that is the topic of our discussion today. So in karma, what does karma mean? So karma basically means action. So, but under action, we have a few different parts to it. So here's a verse from Bhagavad Gita 4.17. Karmano hi api bodhavyam cha vikarmanaha, akarmanas cha bodhayam, gahana karmano gati. So we have the 3 words here, karma, vikarma, and akarma. So what is the meaning of this verse? The intricacies of action are very hard to understand. It's not very easy, it's quite complicated. Therefore, one should know properly what action is, what forbidden action is, and what inaction is. So in Christianity, Muslim, in Islam, and in other religions, basically, you have the concept of sin, right? So sin is also there in our Vedic scripture. It's papam. It's called papam, sin, and that's known as forbidden action. That means things which you are not supposed to do, against the law. And what are things which you should do? So that is action, right? So karma is action. Vikarma is forbidden action, and akarma is no action. That means you don't get trapped, no action at all. So a means no action, akarma. So we will not talk about akarma now first. This we will go on later. So most religions talk about piety, which is karma. It talks about sin, which is bad things you shouldn't do. In religion, in most religions, they talk about things which you should do and things which you shouldn't do. So this is true in material world also, everywhere we go. If you go to school, right, you are not supposed to cheat in an exam. This is So if you study and you do well, so that's karma. And what is your reward for karma? You will get an A, and then you will get good marks, and then you'll get medals and awards and all that, and the teachers will praise you. So these are all reactions which you get if you study. So what you're supposed to do as a student, you study. So you perform karma, things which you're supposed to do. But at the same time, if you do things which you're not supposed to do, for example, you cheat, you bring with you a handphone where you can Google all your answers. And if you're caught, then you are trapped. That is punishment. So then you will get thrown out of school. The teachers won't want to accept you back and things like that, right? You don't do well in your exam. So there is either good things or bad things. So that is karma and vikarma. So as I told you earlier, karma can be answered, can be explained in a very simple way. The simple way it can be explained is as every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this is even accepted by the atheists. Even the scientists and all that, they accept everything you do, you get a reaction, correct? So you can see here, this image, this animation here, this is what we call Newton's cradle. So he invented this. This is a very simple pendulum. You take a pendulum, you lift it and you hit. The energy is transferred from one pendulum to the last pendulum and the other pendulum goes up. So every action has an equal and opposite reaction. So this is common sense, logic. And this can be understood even in activities, our daily activities. If you are a good child, if you follow the instructions of your parents become happy with you. And when the parents become happy with you, then you get what you want. The parents will give you what you want, right? So similarly, if you do bad things, then you get punished. And when you get punished, you're not happy. So that's within one life, within a small moment. But now we go deeper into this knowledge of karma. How can we understand bigger things? How do we understand more complicated aspects of karma? So it all begins with the soul. And the soul is described in the Vedanta Sutra as Anandamayo Vyasat. That means we are all, the soul is looking for Ananda, bliss, pleasure. We are all pleasure seeking. We all want what we want, right? We all have desires. We all want something. Nobody wants to work for misery. Nobody actually works to become sad. Nobody actually works to become miserable. But yet we get these things, right? But anyway, so this comes from the nature of the soul, because the soul really wants pleasure. This is normal. We cannot suppress this. But because we want pleasure, and due to ignorance, because we don't understand the laws. For example, if you go to school, if let's say you are learning how to drive, if you just take a car and you just go out and you don't know the rules of the traffic, if you don't know that I must drive on the right side, instead I drive on the left side, what will happen? Terrible disaster, right? And if you don't know that we have to follow the traffic lights, if you don't know that before we turn, we have to put signal light, if we don't understand these things and we just drive, what will happen? So this is a problem. Because of ignorance, because we don't understand what is the law of the universe, the law of God, we have desire, we want to enjoy, we have desire, karma, right? But because we don't know the rules of the game, we don't know the rules of this universe, so therefore we do action. And sometimes by luck, we are doing correct things. Sometimes we are doing wrong things because of ignorance. Sometimes even we know, but still, because we are very stubborn, therefore still we do the wrong thing. So these actions lead to what we call karma and vikarma, action and forbidden action. So Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, it's very important. We should know properly what is the right action to do, what are forbidden action. So why? Because we have got a human life, right? My dear Arjuna, who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice, thus established by the Vedas, certainly leads a life full of sin. So this is what we need to understand. You know, you cannot come and tell the dog or a cat or a lion, right? You have broken the law, oh dog, therefore I am now going to sentence you to prison. It's meaningless, right? People will laugh at you. Because why? Why will people laugh at you if you say this to the dog? Anyone can tell? And nobody? Why will people laugh at you if the dog does something wrong and you sentence the dog to prison? Two reasons, right? One reason is the dog doesn't have the capacity to understand what is right and what is wrong. Second reason, the dog cannot learn from its mistakes so well, right? So whereas we have a human life. So when we have a human life, we have a cycle we have to follow. We have to follow the laws of God. Why only humans? Why not animals? Because animals just don't have the understanding. That's why human life is special. So when we have a human life, that's why Prabhupada says, human life is responsible life. We cannot say that, oh, I will do whatever I want. Unfortunately, no. If you want to do like that, then we can take birth as any other kind of animal. You want to enjoy complete freedom, then you can take birth as a sea lion or a eagle or a dolphin. If you think that the dolphin is completely free, or if you think the eagle is completely free in the sky, then you can do whatever you want. But human life is responsible life. So responsible life means as soon as we know, as soon as we can understand, we need to know what we should do and what we should not do. So that's the responsibility in human beings. Krishna is telling in the Bhagavad Gita. So people who live only for the satisfaction of the senses, Krishna says, such a person lives in vain. He is completely, he's wasted his human life. There's no point for a human life because the purpose of human life is to learn how to end this suffering, end suffering. Do we think animals suffer? Do we think the birds, the bird which is flying freely in the sky, do you think it's suffering? Or do you think the dolphin which is swimming happily in the sea, do you think the dolphin is suffering? What do you think? Anyone wants to say? Suhesh, what do you think? Animal suffering or not? Nobody thinks so? Okay, you are answering in the chat. Okay, I can't read the chat because I'm putting in PowerPoint. Okay, never mind. What I will say is, if you think that the dolphin is not suffering, do you know dolphins get eaten by killer whales? And do you know that do you know that birds of prey are always not having enough food? So life is not bed of roses for them, right? So some of you say yes, they do. They agree, right? Now let's move on. So let's start with vikarma first. Let's start to understand what is forbidden action. So forbidden action, in other words, papam. Papam is the Sanskrit word for sin. Sin simply means doing things which you are not supposed to do, right? That is all. So when you do sin, You get reactions. When you get reactions, what kind of reactions will you get when you do things which you're not supposed to do? Basically, you will suffer, right? Some kind of misery, some kind of suffering. So in human form of life, we have got developed intelligence to discriminate between right and wrong and lead responsible lives. So if we engage in sinful activity, so this sinful activity comes from the 4 pillars of our dharma. So how do we understand sin in a very simple way? Simple way to understand sin is, it's basically rooted in the 4 pillars of our dharma. What is the 4 pillars of our dharma? Number 1 is what is mentioned in the 10 commandments in the Bible. It says, first commandment, thou shalt not kill, isn't it? So the same law is also there in Hinduism. It's also there in the Vedic religion. In the Vedic scriptures, it says, ahimsa. Have you heard of this word, ahimsa? Even the Buddhists understand this word, ahimsa. Ahimsa means, very simple to understand, what is ahimsa? Ahimsa is, some of you will think, no meat eating, right? But ahimsa is actually, that is the grossest form of ahimsa. Ahimsa means, the grossest form of ahimsa is no meat eating. But why we don't eat meat? Why we don't eat meat? Anyone can answer? Please use the microphone. Just speak out. Don't be shy with your voices. You have all nice voices. Why we should not eat meat?
To have compassion towards animals and other living things.
Yes, Gati, thank you. Right? Basically, you're right, compassion. But that's the next level. That's the next question I would ask. Could you repeat?
No violence.
Violence. Why should you not create violence? Why? What does violence do to the living entity which is receiving it? What does violence do to the living entity which is receiving the violence?
Make them suffer, Prabhu.
Suffer. Okay, yes, suffer. Make a simpler word before the suffer starts with P. P.
Punish.
No. Pain. Pain. You don't want to cause pain, right? So pain can be in different levels, isn't it? Pain can be bodily pain. So therefore you don't kill an animal. Yes, that is the worst type of suffering. You bodily, you hurt the person, you kill the person, right? But pain can also be in terms of mind, right? You say hurtful things to another person. You come and call the person names, or you say things which are not nice, right? The opposite, you're being unkind. So what produces pain? Unkindness, selfishness, right? Rudeness. What else? Anyone wants to give an adjective? What causes pain? What causes pain to you? Or did I cover most of it? Okay, let's see. Right? So these are pain. So mainly ahimsa means do not cause pain. That is what ahimsa means. And even further, Lord Buddha tells, he says, do not do to other people what you don't want other people to do to you. Because sometimes pain is relative. Some people will say, oh, I think this is not painful. I go to a weak person and I go and slap that person in the back. Hello, my friend. I slap him in the back like that. So this person is having COVID, let's say. I didn't know he's having COVID. You go and slap him in the back like that. He will cough blood, isn't it? And then you will be mortified. Oh my God, I didn't mean this, right? So it's relative. Sometimes pain is relative. To you, it may be painful. To another person, it may not be painful. So therefore, to avoid being relative, let's just be absolute. All right? Don't do to other people what you don't want them to do to you. That is one rule to follow. But beyond that, because pain is relative, therefore we have a set of things. Don't kill. Don't eat meat. Don't imprison any creatures. Right? Don't use harsh words. So these are some rules which are easy for us to follow so that we can avoid causing any type of pain to people. So this, when we cause pain to another living entity, then we get a reaction. We get a reaction, a sin. We get a reaction sin, right? So it's like two types of money. You get red color money and you get blue color money. Let's say the red color money is bad money. Each time you do something bad, sinful, you get red color money. Each time you do something nice, you get blue color money. So you cannot use this currency for the same things. You cannot use red color money to buy certain things. You cannot use blue color money to buy certain things. So I'll explain a bit more on that. So some people do gambling. Gambling is also sinful because gambling makes you speak lies, makes you start doing things which normally you wouldn't do, right? People have been known to kill people just for money, right? So gambling is one of the pillars of adharma. So that's just an activity. Basically, what is adharma here is we are talking about truthfulness, lack of truthfulness, falsity. So ahimsa is one. Himsa means to be cruel, to cause pain. Falsehood, that is also adharma. So each time you utter a lie, even a white lie, any kind of lie, there's no good lie, no bad lie, there's only lie. So any kind of lie, you get some reaction, karma. Any kind of falseness, any kind of cheating mentality, behavior. So all of this creates sin. Intoxication, which destroys austerity. So people who are not austere, and illicit relationship having many partners, sexual relationship with many partners. So all of these are rooted in the pillars of adharma. So from here you can actually expand. If you actually go deep, if you think about it very deeply, you will find that many of the bad things that happen in life are all due to these four things. They all have their roots in these four things. For example, I read a long time ago a newspaper where a man killed his child, and the man killed his own mother, and the man killed his wife also. Why he did that? He killed because he had an argument, and in that argument he was drunk. And why he was drunk? He was drunk because he was very, very sad, because he lost a lot of money gambling away, and because his wife caught him having a relationship with another woman. So because he was so sad because of all these reasons, and because he has lost the trust of because he borrowed a lot of money because of gambling, and he lied to his own family, and he took money from them, and he gambled and he lost all his money, and he had illicit relationships, and he was caught with all these things. And to avoid, to escape, he was drunk, and while drunk he went home, and in his drunken behavior, his wife was angry, so in his drunken behavior he just took his knife and go and killed everybody. And then after his drunkenness wore off, he woke up and he realized, oh my God, what have I done? and in despair, he killed himself. So this is a very gross example of how all four of these pillars were destroyed. But even one of these pillars can actually destroy a life. Even one of these pillars can actually cause untold damage, right? So I don't want to go into these things. It's actually a very big topic, these four pillars of Adharma. But here suffice to say that sinful activities cause sinful reactions. So what kind of sinful reactions will we suffer? Okay, number one, first there's hell. We all heard of hell, right? We have hell in every religion. In that one is constant. So in scriptures, we have a very nice explanation. I wouldn't say nice, it's a very scary explanation about what hell looks like. You want to read about what hell looks like, you can read Srimad Bhagavatam. It's there, I think in the 8th canto or something. Canto 5, huh? Canto 5 talks about hell. You can also read about it in Garuda Purana. It tells you how you are fried in oil. It tells you how all kinds of things. So people who utter falsehoods and lies constantly. So no, this is for people who drink liquor. So they pour hot. They take iron, they melt iron, and they pour it into their throat. So like that, I don't want to scare you, and you don't get scared. You all watch horror movies, right? So anyway, this is hell. Welcome to hell. So even the description of hell also in other religions you don't have, because you will only in Christianity you will find that also not in the Bible. They talk about the fires of hell, but that's it. No other description is given. But have you heard of Dante? If you have seen the movie Da Vinci Code, yeah, or have read the book Dan Brown, Da Vinci Code. It talks, or angels and demons or whatever. It talks about Dante's painting. Dante was an artist who lived in Rome during the medieval times, and he painted a picture. And in that picture, he talked about the soul traveling in hell. How the hell he depicted scenes of hell, different scenes of hell. So nobody understood how he knew about these different scenes of hell. So you can Google, you can type Dante's painting. So you can find Dante's painting where he draws about the different suffering of hell. But interestingly, some of those descriptions in hell which he has painted looks very much like what is described in the Garuda Purana and also in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So, right. So anyway, that's hell. But hell is not the end of it. You suffer in hell, and after suffering in hell, the soul after that takes a different body in earth. He comes back to earth because nowhere else to go, ma. After hell, you have to come back to earth again, the place of enjoyment and suffering. And then they degrade into lower life forms. They get punished into taking birth as different bodies, like animals. First, if they are extremely sinful, they will burn in hell. And after that, they will come and take life as a plant. And then after hundreds of years living as a plant, the plant, people cut the plant, people do anything to it. Also, the plant doesn't complain, right? So it's after having a life like that, then they take birth as fishes, insects. Then it's like an evolution of the consciousness. So slowly from worm, from plant, from animal, higher, and then you get the body of a pig. And after getting the body of the pig, then you go higher and higher, you get the body of the cow. So the body of the cow is the last animal body. After the body of the cow, then you get the body of the human being. And again, even as a human being also, if you have been a very bad person, right, for many lifetimes, even after suffering in hell, not enough. So still you have to suffer. You take a body. That's why some people are born deformed. Some people are born in a certain way, given a certain set of mentality, right? So these are degradations of lower life forms. So if we engage in pious activities based on the 4 pillars of Dharma, satyam, daya, tapa, saucham, then we get good reaction. So for example, if you are very charitable, you are very charitable, you do lots of charity, you do lots of austerity, tapa, you are very merciful, compassionate, you like to feed people, you like to save people from misery, right? You maintain a vow of truthfulness, you don't lie. So all this will give you good things, good reactions. So what are the good reactions? Your good reaction can be nice, beautiful birth. You are born beautiful or handsome or healthy, and then you are born rich. You are born in a good family with loving family members. You are born like a prince, you know, king of England or queen of wherever. But that's just earth. You can also take birth in heavenly planets. You can take birth in Indraloka. So this is called punyam. So opposite of papam is punyam, good things. So these are good reactions. So just like you throw lalang seeds, you get lalang. You throw mango seeds, you get mango fruits, and you can enjoy the mango fruit. So therefore, as you sow, so shall you reap. But you know, sometimes we will wonder why some people don't immediately get the suffering. We see friends, right? We see people, and the people, they've done bad things, but they manage to escape. They manage to still live a nice life. They still live a good life, right? So the understanding is just like seeds. Some plants, when you put the plant in the ground, they grow within 2-3 days. Some seeds, they take a few weeks, then only they grow. And once they grow also, some plants within 1 week, 2 weeks, they already full grown. Whereas some plants, they take months, they take years. So like that, and then they need to grow. After many years, they flower. After a few more, then they develop the fruit, correct? So like that, some activity, this is both for good activity, punyam, as well as papam, bad activity. So both punyam and papam, both have different kinds of seeds. So some seeds you will get back immediately, the harvest. Some you will get slowly. So that's why, you know, a good deed always deserves another, but not immediately sometimes. So if you are very obedient to your family, right, you won't feel the benefit immediately. But when you are grown up, right, you will develop a lot of their wisdom. You will develop a lot of their discipline, which they have tried to imbibe on you. So therefore, then you will see the difference. So it's not just this life, it's also different lifetimes. In fact, some karma, you won't even see the result in this life. Like for example, if you are extremely charitable, you may see some people will give you Dato Sri or Tan Sri or whatever, but that's nothing. Because the scriptures tell that if you are charitable, you actually can go and live in heavenly planets. So you will not see that in this life, but you will see that in probably the next life, or maybe even few lifetimes after that. So like that, you can imagine lah, you are a soul, and we have been in this universe for millions and millions and millions of births. So you can just imagine all the different types of seeds that we have collected in our baggage, right? And so many seeds we have, our baggage is so huge. But each life, we can only enjoy or suffer the reactions of some of these seeds. In fact, in one life, we cannot fully enjoy everything in one life. Our seeds, the collection of our reactions are so huge that we cannot completely exhaust everything in one life. Even the sins and the punyam, both also we cannot exhaust everything in one life. It will force you to take another life to enjoy. I've done so many bad things that suffering in hell is not enough. Taking 10,000 birds again and again and again also may not be enough. Same thing also with punyam. Sometimes you do charity, you're a nice person, you're kind, but the reaction is not enough to just finish off in one lifetime. You may become Indra in your next life, but even after Indra, you still will take birth again as a king in this world, and again you will have many wonderful qualities in this world, and after 1,000 lifetimes, still your good qualities may not be enough to remove. So like that, your life is assured to go on taking birth again and again and again, because the actions and the reactions are endless. It's continuously going on. So do you see what I'm trying to show? I'm trying to show to you that both good activities and bad activities, they are both confining. They both trap you. Good activities also trap you. Yes. How do they trap you? Good activity, you do bad things, it's bad luck for you. Sorry. It's very foolish if someone does bad things, because there's simply nothing they gain out of it. They suffer. On top of that, they get body after body. If you do good things, you will enjoy, but you still get body after body, because it forces you to take a body to enjoy the good things that you have done. Correct? So someone might say, doesn't the good things cancel the bad things? Majority of the time, no. The answer is no. You will suffer and you will also enjoy. Just like if you throw seeds, if you throw all the seeds right on the garden, you will get a nice set of crops. You will get, if you plant roses, you will get roses, but together with the roses, you keep watering the roses, you also get all these other weeds. So there are different types of weeds: crabgrass, giant ragweed, poison sumac. So all these different types of weeds you will get. You will get weeds as well as the roses. You want to plant mango, the mango tree will grow, but together with the mango tree, other weeds also will grow, isn't it? So this is the problem. But sometimes, occasionally, some good deeds can cancel certain bad deeds. So this is specially described in the Vedas. This is called Prayaschita. So Prayaschita means, usually an astrologer will tell you, oh, in your past birth, you have killed many snakes. So in this life, all your children will die one by one, or you will not have any children. So, oh, you got Naga dosha. So, so the astrologer will tell you the prayaschita for this is, you have to go and feed the snakes milk, or you have to make a small worship about snakes or something like that. Or you worship Saturn or things like that. This kind of deva worship, they will say. Or they will say wear these certain gems or something like that. So like that, they will say give charity of sesame seeds, or give charity of gold, or give charity of clothes to people. So astrologers like to give this kind of prayaschita. So that is just one way of doing it. So sometimes you can avoid certain amount of karma. Just a few lah. Imagine you have done so many, you cannot do prayaschita for everything, right? And then there are some things which can remove your karma also. Like for example, study of scriptures. If you study scripture, that is one of those things which can actually cancel out certain karmas. So I'll go more into details of that later, right? So now I'm just talking about karma and vikarma first. So if you plant durians, you'll get durians. If you plant mangoes, you'll get mangoes. So if you do sinful action, you will get sinful reaction. If you do pious actions, if you are kind to people, if you are nice to people, if you're not selfish, if you are selfless, if you dedicate your life to society, so then you will reap this harvest in your next life. Most of the time, many of these things you will get in your next life. So this is some of the differences between punya and papa. So then somebody will say, they'll ask this question: why some people, they are so cruel, but they suffer so little? So that's why I already explained this point. The point is because some karma, it takes several lifetimes. So even in English, there is a proverb, the mills of God grind slowly. You know what's a mill? This is a mill. A mill is something used to crush grains into powder. You might imagine where you get your atta flour from. You get your atta flour from grains which are crushed. Those days they use wind power like this, or you could use bullock power, right? Go around and grind the mortar like that. So the mills of God. So the Lord also grinds. He is witnessing all your karma. How does he witness? There are many witnesses. He is there as Paramatma in your heart. So you cannot hide. But at the same time, there is also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, the witnesses are the sun, the moon, the 4 seasons, the 10 directions, the day, the night. So these are all witnesses, right? So they notice and they slowly give out. They may not come to you in this life. They may not get immediately. That's why a lot of atheists and a lot of foolish people, they say that, so what? I can do whatever I want. Nothing's happening to me. I can escape, right? But in Malay also they say, right? Sepandai-pandai tupai melupat, akhirnya jatuh ke tanah juga. So similarly, the mills of God grind slowly, but they grind exceedingly fine. That means even the smallest details, the smallest sin, the smallest punya does not escape God's calculation. So we have Yamaraj, and Yamaraj has a super efficient Secretary of the Universe Award winner. What's his name? Chitragupta. So Chitragupta, he has a super efficient mind, and he is able to calculate every single smallest grain of punya or papa. He can balance it out. He can balance the equations. You know, debit and credit. He knows how to balance your account very perfectly. And he knows that you are going to be in this material world for millions of lives. So you can enjoy and suffer the reactions. So if you understand this, concept, then we don't have to waste time with revenge. You know, people sometimes feel vengeful. They feel envy. So you don't have to waste time with envy. You don't have to waste time with vengeance. Because you can understand that whatever another person is getting is simply because they have done it. They have it's past their, it's coming, it's in the pipeline for them. And if they have done something wrong to you, you don't have to waste your time with vengeance, because you know they will get it eventually. God has noted it, and it may not be in this life, but it will be in another. You know, karma is very, very intricate. It will make it so that the person, I've read a story before. This is from the scripture. A person did something wrong to the family member, so he died, and then after several births, he took birth as a cat, and that cat was within the family of the uncle who he did wrong to. So the uncle was such that he had a child, and the child was very cruel, and the child likes to be bad to the cat. He always attacks the cat, beats the cat, puts the cat in the washing machine, that kind of thing, you know. So the cat suffered, but and the uncle will tell the child, don't do this to the cat, poor cat, you know. So, but you see, this cat in his previous birth was someone who was cruel, who cheated this uncle out of money and all these things. So God is very careful. God knows the laws of this material world is very perfect. It knows exactly how to give you the due reward or the due punishment in time. Okay, so this is the understanding that we can have about. So if we know this, we don't have to waste time with vengeance. Leave it to God. Leave it to karma. You don't even have to leave it to God. There's already a perfect system going on. God doesn't involve himself too much with non-devotees, right? There's already a perfect system. Karma, your Lord Yamaraj is involved in this. So everything is equal. So there is a saying, you know, Petty people revenge. Strong people forgive, but intelligent people ignore. So if you are intelligent and you understand these laws, then you just don't waste your time with vengeance. You just don't waste your time with envy, because it is only going to give you suffering. Understand that what you go through is simply what is due to you. You have done it in your past, and if not in this life, in many other lifetimes, and slowly it is coming to you in different ways. So there are 4 kinds of karma. I will just end with this. Actually, karma is a very big topic. We will continue the next time I will give the class. I will request Atikopika Mataji to extend the karma topic to 2 parts. But I will end with these 4 kinds of karma. So 4 kinds of karma here is Sanchita karma. That's the first type of karma. What is Sanchita karma? Sanchita karma is the sum of all the karmas that you have collected in your huge bag from the time you came to this material world. So it's your total sum of all your karma. So it's called Sanchita. So for you, easy to remember, San sounds like sum. So sum. So that's the keyword. This is your sum of all your karma. And then you have Prarabdha karma. Prarabdha karma means that karma destined to play in our present lifetime. That means from all the baggage, but in this life, only this much of karma is going to play in my life. A small portion. All the rest of it is in the bank, but what I'm taking out from the bank, I'm going to use it in this life. So that's called Prarabdha karma. And then you have Kriyamana karma. So what's Kriyamana karma? It is the karma newly produced, fresh karma, which you are producing in this life. Now you've got a life, right? So whatever that you do now, that is newly fresh produced karma. Let's say you walk, and you see a bug and you step on the bug, right? New account, ting, goes into your account. And then you go and say, hello, my friend, come, I belanja you lunch today. Oh, nice charity I'm doing. Ting, goes into another account. So like that. So this is called Kriyamana karma, which is fresh karma which you're doing now. And then you have Aprarabdha karma. Aprarabdha karma is karma which is in the pipeline, which is you're going to get in this life, right? But it's not yet fully manifested, but it's making you think in a certain way. This is Aprarabdha karma. Unmanifested karma. For example, what is okay, now the important point here is Prarabdha, Kriyamana, and Aprarabdha. Sanchita is easy to understand. All right? Sanchita is your sum, your total. Okay. Now let's try to understand Prarabdha, Kriyamana, and Aprarabdha using an example. So I'm going to give you an example of an archer. So this archer, currently, he is taking a bow. So, and then he's going for archery practice. So just imagine the archery practice is your current life, right? The analogy. He's now going and playing archery. Just imagine that 2 hours he spends on archery is your current lifetime, your lifetime, okay? So he is having a quiver full of arrows. So the quiver full of arrows is what we call Sanchita karma. That means all the karma which you have taken, right? But you have put it all inside your arrow, your quiver. And then you are playing archery, so you have a bullseye. So you're shooting. So the action of you shooting, you taking the bow, you take the arrow from your quiver and you aim, right? So that action which the archer is doing is called Prarabdha. So for example, you are born in this world, you have a certain birth, right? You are born to this family. You are born looking a certain way. You are born short, you are born tall, you are born fat, you are born thin, you are born fair, you are born dark. So your birth. So this birth is called Prarabdha karma. It's already decided. It's already manifest. Due to your sin, due to your sanchita karma from the past, you have taken the birth, right? It's already manifest. That's prarabdha karma. And your birth also has a certain destiny. Certain things are already destined for you. What is destined for you? What is, now listen carefully to this. At the time of conception, at the time of your conception, that means when you are not even born, when you are in the mother's womb, at the time of conception, certain things have been destined to you. What is destined to you is two things. Your allotment of happiness and your allotment of distress. So this is what has been destined to you already. You cannot change it. It's prarabdha karma in this life. In this life, your total happiness and your total suffering or misery is already destined for you in this life already. But remember, it is just happiness and misery. It has nothing to do with how you do it, how you get that happiness or how you get that misery. So for example, you may work hard and then you may get a certain position in life, and from that position, whether you get happiness out of that position or not is a totally different matter. Correct? It's like you may be a very rich person. A person may be born very rich, but he may have no happiness from all his money, right? So like that, some people, you know, even some people who are very poor, they are very happy. So therefore, it's together with the situation, a certain set of mind is also given to you. You are going to be born with this set of mind or with that set of mind. It's already decided. So you will have a certain set of thinking. You will have a certain bent of mind. So that is prarabdha karma. Then now this archer has a choice. What he has a choice? He has a choice that he can either shoot the arrow on a living creature, or he can shoot the arrow on a plant, or he can shoot the arrow at the target. So he has a bow. Karma has given him a body, so he has a bow. And karma has given him arrows. That means he has desires, he has inclinations. Now what he does with this bow and arrow is completely the free will of the archer. Now the archer can decide whether he wants to shoot the arrow at the target, or he can shoot at a running rabbit, or he can shoot at a bird flying in the sky, or he can shoot at a fruit hanging on a tree, or he can shoot at a tiger which is coming rushing towards a cow, trying to eat the cow, right? So he can choose what he wants to do with this arrow. So that is called agama, or your free will. So what he wants to do with it. Suppose he uses it to kill the cow. If he shoots the arrow and the arrow kills the cow, then he gets papam, sin. So that is called kriyamana karma. Kriyamana karma means the karma that you get in this life, the fresh karma which you are creating constantly due to your choices. So this is the power of choice. So what you are born with, this is called prarabdha, and what you have a choice, the choice is called agama, and the karma or the action which you make out of that choices is called kriyamana. That means you can choose to shoot the arrow at the cow and get papam, or you can shoot the arrow at the tiger to save the cow and get punya, right? So it's up to you. So this is the law and the theory of karma in a very simple manner, which I'm trying to hope you can understand. So what the archer chooses to do with this arrow is his choice. He can either choose to kill someone or save someone. That is agami, your choice of free will. You see? So God has given us blessings. He has given us a set of possibilities. What we choose to do with that possibility, Either we want to live a good life, either we want to follow what we can follow, learn what we can learn correctly, and do that, or we can also take drugs, we can mix with bad people, we can do a lot of, we can waste your life, right? So this is agama, your choice of free will. So if we do good things, we go to heaven. This is Indraloka. We enjoy heaven, right? But before I end, I'm going to end shortly. I want to show you that this verse in Bhagavad Gita, when they have thus enjoyed. Now, even if you are suffering, we know what happens when you do bad things, right? But what happens if you do good things? You go to heaven, you enjoy, you come back to earth. But you see here, Bhagavad Gita says, when they have thus enjoyed vast heavenly sense pleasure, and the results of their pious activities are exhausted, what happens? So remember, I told you it's like a bank balance. You have red color money and blue color money. Imagine the red color money is all your bad things, your sins, and your blue color money is all the good things. So with the blue color money, you can buy ticket to go to Indraloka. You can buy ticket to have a beautiful body. You can buy a beautiful, a nice lifestyle. You can buy some happiness in life. With the red color ticket, you have no choice. The red color money will give you misery, will give you suffering and things like that. So in human life, you will get both. You will get red color ticket and you will get blue color ticket. When you go to heavenly planets, when you're Indra, you only get blue color money. You don't get red color money. You are basically using up your blue color money. You're spending your blue color money, right? So this earth is very special. This earth is the only place you can earn money. That means you can earn red color money or you can earn blue color money. Only on earth. You cannot earn this in hell. You cannot earn this in heaven. That means if you become a deva and you do good things, you won't get money out of, you won't get punya out of that. You can only enjoy, you can only throw away, you can only enjoy it. You cannot earn new things. After you finish earning, you'll come back down to earth, back to your earning place. So if similarly, even if you're in hell, if you do some nice things in hell or whatever it is, you cannot enjoy, you're only suffering, you only suffer, and then you can come back to earth. Now, even in earth, you only get to earn karma, either good karma or bad karma, only in the human body. So that means animals cannot get karma. If a tiger comes and kills your parents, you cannot say, oh, the tiger is going to suffer horribly in hell for what he has done. No, it's his nature. It's the animal's nature. You cannot blame the animal for it. The animal doesn't have malice. It only behaves naturally in its own mood. That's all. So it's only in the human being that you get this. That's why human being is called responsible life. It's the only life which is in the neutral platform, where you can either, it's like the interchange, it's like the station where you can take the train and go north or take the train and go south. It's the interchange, in between place. So this is the Kshetra Dham, the land of action. In this land of action, your good activities will give you. But you see what happens? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, even when you go to heaven, you enjoy, and then as you are enjoying, the blue color money is going down, 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 down. It's depleting, 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 depleting. As soon as it's depleted, you have to come back down to earth. And they return to this mortal planet again. So Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. So from heaven, the angel falls down back to earth. And you take birth again. Or he may even go down to hell. Because Yamaraj will ask you, when you go to, first of all, whether when a human being does activities, after he dies, he goes to Yamaraj. Yamaraj will ask you, you want to enjoy first or you want to suffer first your sinful reactions? You have done both. So which one you want to do? You want to enjoy first, you want to suffer? So if the person says, I want to enjoy first, he will go to heaven. He will enjoy in heaven, and then he will fall down. After his enjoyment is finished, then then he has to finish his suffering. So then he'll go to hell. And then after suffering in hell, then he goes back to earth. If the person say, I want to suffer first, then only I want to enjoy, then he goes to hell first, he suffers in hell, then he goes to heaven, enjoys in heaven, then he comes back down to earth after clearing everything, right? And then he gets another birth. So like this, it goes on. So this is the cycle of samsara. So samsara means the cycle of birth and death. So sometimes you are in heaven, enjoy, and then you go down to hell. Suffer, and then you go to earth. And then again you get karma. From the karma, you either go up or you go down. So it's like a big Ferris wheel. It's like a wheel. So it's constantly turning and turning and turning and turning. So Krishna says, thus they seek sense enjoyment by adhering to the principles of the three Vedas, achieve only what? Only repeated birth and death. So either they get suffering or they get happiness, suffer, happiness, suffer, happiness, suffer, sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha, sukha, dukkha, and janma, mrityur, janma, mrityur, janma, mrityur. So this is a cycle, cycle. Now, is this a happy cycle? It's not a happy cycle, because a happy cycle means I only enjoy. I don't want to suffer. But what goes up must come down. So therefore, there is happiness and suffering, and there's birth and there is death. So this is not a happy cycle. This is a miserable cycle. So that's why it's called samsara. So we stop here. Next class, I will speak about what's the way to escape. The way to escape is the third one. Remember, I mentioned karma, vikarma, and akarma. So we talked about karma, which is good things. We talked about vikarma, which is bad things. And next class, I will speak about akarma, which is the way how to escape from this samsara. So we need to carefully understand these aspects. So with that, we'd like to end here. Thank you very much. Sorry it took up a bit of your time. And sorry for the initial glitches and all the hiccups that came about. Now let's open to questions. Any questions you have? If you have a question and I can explain it, I can explain it. If it involves something which is going to involve the next topic, then I will say, hold on to the next topic. But for now, you can just ask whatever you have. Did you agree with everything that I say? If you disagree, please mention it, then we can discuss. Come, unmute yourself. You have any questions? If you are shy to ask questions, you can also WhatsApp. You can WhatsApp them. You can send it to me, or you can send it to Rasa Prayana Prabhu, or what's her name, Rati Gopika Mataji's number, and they can forward it to me, or they can also answer it if they like. So, any questions? You're clear? Okay, but don't worry. There is no that this is not the end. There is a way to break this cycle, right? So next class, not next immediately, when my turn comes again. So that time I will speak more about the way to break out of this cycle of samsara. Okay, so thank you very much. So have a good lunch. Bye-bye. Hare Krishna.